Hey YouTube, Point Shooter here. I want to do a channel update for the month of May. Obviously, I've been away from YouTube for a little while. Still trying to keep in touch with people, but I certainly haven't had a lot of time to be on lately. The last 5 months of my life have been some of the busiest and also the best. Specifically more the last, I'd say, 3 or 4 months. What is pretty cool is that 2 days ago I picked up this custom handmade kukri, and at a place up in Pennsylvania. It was made by a local guy, and I don't want to divulge any information until I contact him about publicity here on YouTube, but he does a fantastic job. This is an L6 saw blade, an old two-man saw, and he does stock removal. And what is cool is he's preserved the temper and the flexibility of the original saw blade to make this kukri. Now the length, looking right about 14-15 inches of cutting surface. People may not have seen one of these before. This is the predecessor to the steel tape rulers, and my grandfather, who was a construction worker, he owned his own company and then was later a contractor, he carried one of these every single day of his life. So it was a pretty cool EDC item. Never one of mine though. And as far as carrying this kukri, a lot of you guys know that I live in a state where there's some pretty pesky knife laws, and something like this would just get you into trouble. Good reason for carrying it or not. So it's definitely a backyard tool, or if I was somewhere where I could carry it, I would look into a sheath for it, which he also does, is custom leather sheaths, stitched and riveted, which is pretty cool. And I'm looking into something from my Becker. I'm very happy with this kukri. It was about $40 and is a beauty. He also has some other custom knives for sale, but I really had a lot of interest in this kukri. One of the things that I like about it is it's well balanced. It does seem to chop well, but actually I haven't done any real chopping with it yet. I have just been so excited I wanted to show it off and also do an update. So I wanted to say hi to a couple people. Intuitive Survival, as always. We talk fairly often. We do the Google Hangouts. Obviously they've been on hold for a little while, but I'm looking forward to getting back to it. Mike Landreth, some of the other folks. Luke Banner, I want to say hi to you guys. William Collins, I thought William might have interest in this particular blade. And of course, who else would I give a shout out to in a kukri but Black Oracle. Blackie, I think you'd really appreciate this blade, and I was so happy to get my mitts on it since I've been meaning to get a real kukri. I'd looked into Schrade and a couple other companies, and certainly looked at the foreign kukris, but I hadn't been up to Pennsylvania, where you can sometimes get them, in a while. And when this popped up, I certainly jumped on it. So it's a beautiful knife. Excuse me, he needs to get a proper maker stamp for him since he's doing customs. The only problem with his setup is he only is set up to do stock removal. He actually does not have heat treat capability. So he's watering, keeping the blades cool, and doing stock removal, which is great. And in fact, I might commission a custom work at some point if I come up with a design that I really like. I am still really hung up on the idea of a parang, and there's no way that I can afford some of the real nice parangs that are out there. And I couldn't justify the cost. I barely get out as it is. What's nice is this knife has certainly bridged the gap that I was lacking in the apartment of a heavy chopping tool. I have a tiny little flat ground tomahawk, I have my Becker, I have a couple other large fixed blades, but really didn't have serious chopping power. And somebody like Blackie has described that this can take the place of a tomahawk for him. This can take the place of his heavy chopping tool. But it also has enough size and grip to it that you can use it for some smaller tasks. Although I think that pairing something like this with a Mora or even a Swiss Army knife would be a great combination. It still retains the flexibility, so it's not just this hunk of steel. What I don't like in knives are like the Condor Hudson Bay or others that are just this almost half-inch thick chunk of steel that practically bounce. I haven't used it yet, but he insisted that it bites and sticks, which is going to be great. and I know enough about knives when I pick a knife up to get a general idea of the capabilities, and I certainly am impressed by this one so far, or I wouldn't have bought it. Actually, it was partially funded by a friend of mine who I have been doing a large favor for over the past couple months, and it's going to look great hanging on my wall. Since I don't actually have a sheath for it, I figured why not display it. I'm going to actually hang it in my living room. So I've been very impressed by it. It's got a nice riveted handle here, very comfortable for my grip. I have smaller hands, and I'm not detecting any hot spots or things that are going to give me trouble. So once I get back to my grandparents' place to help with some yard work, I look forward to really giving this a workout. See, I think it's going to be very different for me to learn to use this kukri, because I've only ever used straight blades, and the kukri that I have is an M-Tech, and it's, for all intents and purposes, compared to this, it might as well be a straight blade. It just has a tiny bit of curvature. So I'm very happy with this. A couple other notes in my personal life and professional. I am working now, finally. I got actually pick up a job. I'm getting about 30 hours a week, so that's pretty nice. I'm definitely trying to build my survival skills and also my outdoor skills. I think that I've really noticed a lot of YouTube is becoming gear reviews, and there is nothing wrong with gear reviews. That's how I got started. But I want to see the sharing of information continue. I've been doing a lot of fishing lately, not catching a whole heck of a lot. 5-6 fish so far in the past couple weeks. But the waters in my area are, well, not that you'd even want to fall into them. You certainly wouldn't eat anything that you catch. So I only do catch and release fishing. I actually debarb my hooks. I think it's nicer to the fish, and that certainly reduces the chance of really injuring, and it just makes it easier to move. I did watch somebody sadly gut hook a bluegill the other day, and it unfortunately didn't survive. So I really try to avoid things like that. I do think that fishing is a great pastime, and I think that it also teaches us some valuable lessons in patience, emotional regulation, and above all else, it's fun. I hope everybody on YouTube is doing well. I wanted to do a welcome back to Savage Survivalist. Welcome back, my friend. We all missed you. I'm looking forward to doing some more Google Hangouts. If you're interested in the outdoors, you should check out Intuitive Survival's channel and check out his Google Hangouts, which will resume at some point in the near future. I know that we all certainly enjoy them. Luke, Mike, all you guys, I look forward to chatting with you soon. Thanks to everybody for sticking with me on my channel, and I hope to have some action reviews of this in the near future. Take care. This is Point Shooter signing out.